Okay, welcome to the live discussion-based, reboot of The Moral Limits. Today we'll be discussing the Snyder Cut. Jesus, what is your sort of, history with Zack Snyder as a filmmaker? What was your, entry point?
Probably Sucker Punch.
Really? That's your first?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's not a...
I've never watched 300.
Uh-huh.
I don't even remember when it was, but it was definitely after Sucker Punch that I watched the zombie movie that I don't remember the name of. Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
Fucking dab. Then there's... Is it just Man of Steel? Oh! Owls. The Owl one.
Right.
What came out first? Owl or...
Okay, so his filmography goes so. It's Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's 300. Then
Guardians of Galhul.
Watchmen, Guardians, Sucker Punch.
Oh.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
If that's the case, I'm pretty sure I watched Watchmen in theaters, so that would have been the first one.
Okay.
And I know I watched Guardians of Galhul in theaters, so then I watched Sucker Punch. So I guess, never mind then. So it wasn't Sucker Punch.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. The theater experience of Watchmen is so different from the Ultimate Cut experience. So it's almost two different movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, for Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch Watchmen until that one time that it took us 13 hours to watch Watchmen.
I mean, that's just how it is when you're...
Constantly pausing or falling asleep?
Well, constantly pausing to, discuss it.
What are you doing?
Look, I'm trying to... There was, a little, white gap, but I guess I could fix it over here. But I feel okay, so when we first met and we were discussing Zack Snyder, what was your initial opinion of seeing Man of Steel in theaters, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I like Man of Steel. I've never not liked Man of Steel. I really like that movie. I think it's really good. I've never heard someone actually make an argument for why Man of Steel isn't good. I've only ever heard people say Jesus or
not my Superman.
Or not my Superman,
yeah.
Which is these are not arguments. These are just... It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. Now, look, if you're going to tell me I don't like Superman mixed with Christian imagery, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I couldn't care less, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
But if you're going to tell me that it's not a good movie because it has that, from, an objective standpoint.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
There's nothing objective about that. It's just, you like it or you don't.
For me, I feel in 2013, when I saw Superman, I felt like I came into it a little too close-minded, a little too much coming off of, more grounded stories, like the Dark Knight trilogy. Mm-hmm. I was it's okay. I like it. But, I wasn't so open-minded to, high concepts within, big budget action movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In your defense, it does not, even if as good as it is, live up to its original trailers. Those motherfuckers were masterpieces. Those were, masterclass.
I could see that. I could see that
beauty.
in the original, trailer movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
do you remember, it was the speech in the background of him fucking standing in the field, that shit.
Well, that's the thing though, right? So the two separate Pa Kent and Jor-El speeches played with Clark Kent scenes are all from the movie and are equally as powerful. And I feel seeing the film more and analyzing it more, I love the movie way more than I ever could the trailers. But those trailers are masterclasses, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I feel when I first saw the movie, I was this is a 70 out of 100, right? And I feel that's where I met you, and that's where we kind of discussed how do we get hyped about this Batman versus Superman movie coming out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember way back when we were talking about how Batman vs. Superman had so many different avenues. I think we talked about because I don't remember what was confirmed at the time, but like we talked about like a lot of different scenarios. You even brought up because at the time, if I remember correctly, it was like Batman vs Superman and then Justice League like for 3 parts, and you talked about how masterful it could be if like one of them ended with like the sky lighting up in green.
Yeah.
Like with like some kind of like a Zack Snyder's Green Lantern.
Right.
Which would be amazing.
2015 hype for what the DC universe could be was like so limitless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I think it was about like a month or so, maybe a couple weeks before Batman versus Superman comes out. We actually sat down, and for the first time since we met each other for like a year, we sat down and watched Man of Steel. And it was like this crazy eye-opening experience of like, whoa, there's like so much to this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you sit down and you're actually like, okay, let me take this movie in as a movie and not be like, oh, Superman this, or like past interpretations. Let's just look at this as a movie and how this could like go into the next movie. Hot damn, you know what I mean?
But I don't think either of us could have seen coming just how masterful the start of Batman vs Superman would be.
Oh yeah.
Like, people don't talk about this enough. I don't know how anyone could come away from, even if you don't like the movie, I don't really fucking give a fuck. But that scene, like if you think about it, like for like it totally purposes a totally different scene.
Yeah.
Where if you're tuned in with Man of Steel, you're like, you know, this is like a big moment where he's finally, and he has to like, you make the hard choice about killing him, and it's like this, it's bittersweet because yeah, he won, but it caused so much pain for everyone in him. Like it's like that. But then you look at it from like someone who's like on the ground level, not just like Perry White or whatever. Like we're talking like Batman, who's like in the thick of it, watching people die and having no context. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like totally repurposed.
And it's like it's a full like 8-minute sequence. You know what I mean? Like it in itself is like a vignette. It's its own like story. You know what I mean? Beginning to end. And that's where like other movies like recently Godzilla, King of the Monsters falls so short because like it tries to like pick up the idea of, oh, let's like subvert and have someone else be one of the ones that the buildings are falling on, right? And follow them. But the way Godzilla did it was like so cheap that it was just like 30 seconds of someone witnessing Godzilla and her kid die, and then just like literally scene after that, okay, that is now my motivation to cause that sort of thing,
it'd be like if Batman was like, okay, I saw Superman destroy all of fucking, what's it, New York or whatever that city was, Metropolis, Metropolis. All right, now I'm going to give Superman a fucking mecha suit so he can do it even like times 10. It's like, what?
Or like, it would be, I mean, in terms of like the movie itself, it'd be like if Batman built a Doomsday to just unleash, you know what I mean? To reset all of, it's just like, fuck it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like why would you do that?
But Zack Snyder's different. What Zack Snyder did was masterful. You know what I mean? But going back to Man of Steel, that was sort of like my awakening of like, because I was a huge fan of the director's cut and the ultimate cut of Watchmen, right? And that was where you were like, I don't know, Green Lantern was shit. I don't know, like, can they do a Justice League? And that's where I was like, Jesus. Like, I know Green Lantern ain't gonna be in it, but like, what if there was like a cliffhanger, all green in the sky, Darkseid is one. And it was because I had faith in Zack Snyder when it came to Justice League and Batman vs Superman because of how many characters he handled in Watchmen. You know what I mean?
This is true. But even in that, you have to consider the fact that Watchmen is much more self-contained than DCU ever could be, insofar as it's literally one movie and versus like a plethora of movies. So no, he had never tackled anything like this before and anything on this scale.
Well,
so,
I mean, like
to be fair.
Well, here's the thing, though. A huge argument, but you got to understand that we were all being hit with, as DC fans, were the people from Marvel who were just like, if you're going to have a movie that has a team of people, you need solo movies. And, like, that is, like, the worst take I've ever heard. Because, like, X-Men, literally Guardians was coming out. Like,
Yeah.
there are plenty of examples of good team movies of it. And we can even get into like Reservoir Dogs or other like non-comic book movies that have teams of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you have like, why would you do what's already done?
Yeah.
If someone already did it, what's the point?
For
Like,
sure.
why are you gonna do it again?
Yeah.
Do something different, and they did.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it, but it's definitely unique.
Yeah.
It's not like this is the one way to do it, where you make your Superman movie and then Batman, especially when you open yourself up to a lot of weird shit if you don't have like a singular vision. So you have like at the end of fucking Hulk, there's like a cutscene of Tony Stark being like, I'm gonna whatever with the Hulk, and it's like, when does that ever come up?
Yeah.
You know, it's like it doesn't. And that's just kind of like you have to be like aware of that. Like sometimes just letting someone kind of create their own vision, even if they ended up, you know, whatever with Zack Snyder, but that could be like worthwhile and it's worth pursuing.
And that's why the Snyderverse works so well, right? If we're talking about like Man of Steel into Batman versus Superman into Zack Snyder's Justice League, you really do have this like cause and effect story where the Metropolis and the Black Zero incident, you know, triggers Bruce Wayne, and that is Batman versus Superman.
Though
And
to be fair, although we have reason to believe it will be, we don't know how it perfectly it leads into because we've never seen.
Well, okay, we see the Lex Luthor. The bell has been rung. You know, he is coming. And in the next movie, we see Steppenwolf from the trailers, which is what we're going to be discussing today.
Right. Well, once we watch it.
But you can see that cause effect through these movies, and there was an ambition on a part of Zack's part to like make the other movies connect more to that. But as
like Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad.
Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad, right? And because of like the vitriolic like reaction to how different Zack's take on these characters were to your traditional comics, they retroactively went back and like, you know, fucked over Zack Snyder with Joss Whedon. They cut up Suicide Squad in the editing bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get like something like Suicide Squad that was literally supposed to be. It was supposed to have stuff about Steppenwolf and connect to Justice League in a lot of ways. That gets all lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any nuance with Jared Leto's Joker is gone with the wind. And something like Wonder Woman, you know, they cut back on elements of Justice League. One of my favorite deleted scenes to ever come out of a comic book movie is from Wonder Woman, which is at the end of Wonder Woman. They're like, okay, let's look up this shit about mother boxes, you know what I mean? And that's such a good scene. It's Etta Candy, and it kind of shows like, okay, we know where Wonder Woman goes in her journey, but like what happened to all the people that were stuck in the 1940s and 20s and 30s that don't get to like live like Wonder Woman passed, you know what I mean? And they still have a really integral part that, you know,
I think those characters are really unfortunate because like, man, there's some things, there's like, I don't know what it is about it, like what happens along the way, but like when you look at like Chief's character, there's like nothing. There's nothing to his character. I wonder if something was cut, if stuff was like
for sure
rearranged. And then you look at I don't remember his name, but he's the guy that shoots the gun.
Right.
Or doesn't rather.
Yeah.
There's like an arc set up there, and there's nothing. Because like he's supposed to be like, you know, oh, I'm gonna take the shot on the sniper, but but then he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And then there's never a callback to that. And there's also in the later scene he just starts shooting at like at Germans, and it's like there was something here and it was cut. The one that I do think actually doesn't suffer as much. Maybe there's something more that could be added, but the actor dude, he is actually like I really like. It's a mini arc. It's not really an arc, but so much as we get like an idea of who he is.
Yeah,
and
he's
why
definitely my favorite of them.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of really good things to love about that movie. Specifically, Steve Trevor and Diana are like really fucking good, and I love their romance and their dynamic. But it's just, it feels like other characters are lacking in that sense.
Yeah, that's like you can see the difference between when Zack Snyder was in the fucking driver's seat steering Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman versus Warner Brothers, who was like, okay, let's fucking, you know, edit the shit out of Suicide Squad. Let's fucking put some pressure on Patty Jenkins when filming the ending of Wonder Woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are consequences because what we'll see right here in the Snyder Cut trailers is like what we get when we get like a full unadulterated like vision. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a good place to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna click play, and we'll see what the first shot is.
It's muted.
Yeah, no, obviously I don't want to get fucking. That's the great thing about these trailers so far is I'm sure the one we're gonna see tomorrow on Valentine's Day.
We'll have dialogue.
Yeah.
But this is just music.
Yeah, this is all just music that would just kill our stream. But I mean, we could start right here with Wonder Woman, right? Mm-hmm. Such a great design in terms of. I mean, we see a little bit of Steppenwolf, right?
Yeah. Very pointy.
So much. It feels like a more present like danger. You know what I mean? And
well, I'm really looking forward to seeing the on the screen design, like the really like polished version, because I know I personally I think it's better than what we got in Justice League, but I'm not a big fan of the pointy design, concept art, and stuff that we've gotten so far.
Well, like, all right, concept art maybe, but I really did like the very pointy Batman versus Superman, like, tease where they're in the ship, and obviously everything's made out of, like, the points and shit.
Yeah.
That's a great design. I like how his anatomy is, you know what I mean?
I think one thing I will say is that shot, like I don't know if it's infamous, but like you'll know it when I start describing it. It's like Steppenwolf and there's fucking ships and fire and like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right, yeah. Well, that is what you're describing is. That is a shot of Darkseid, or you actually, yeah. Well, that's Darkseid supposed to be, right? In the Snyder cut, that's gonna be Darkseid. In the Whedon cut, they put Steppenwolf, right?
Okay, wait. So the version that I'm talking about has Darkseid in it,
right? Yeah.
Okay, well, his design's way better because I remember thinking about. I thought that was Steppenwolf for some reason. That looks he looks great.
So, are you talking about like bald, no horns?
I imagine so. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but
we'll probably see it right here. If it's in a trailer, we're gonna be seeing it right now. But yeah. I really like, so for me, the Steppenwolf design is evocative of, like, Apex Predator. This is, like, the warrior of warriors, right?
Right.
Doomsday is kind of like, this is the abomination monster, but just kills to kill. But this looks like, if you were to take, like, a medieval, like, killers, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what you would get. You'd get an axe, which is, like, straight from hell, you know what I mean? Like, this is, like, some demon shit. Let's see what's next. Okay, this shot. This is a upgraded version of the Batmobile, straight out of the fucking Dark Knight Returns.
Wow.
You know the big tank, like the Tumbler in the Dark Knight series was like it's a little tank, right?
For the Dark Knight, yeah. But it's like this little tank with like the fucking wheels and shit on the side, yeah. Yeah,
this one, it was bigger. Remember that, have you seen the animated movie yet?
I haven't seen the animated movie, but I did read the comics.
You read the book.
So I know
you know that.
Yeah.
It's and it kind of has like a little bit of a neck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the screen right now, you'll see, you missed it, but it was right there, like a little bit of a neck.
Yeah, no, I see what you're going for.
Parademons. We can bring it back to Batman versus Superman. I remember the nightmare scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. Such an original like take on the apocalypse, but these demons, so much more like terrifying. I love their dark presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're hidden in shadow. They're not giving too much away, which I appreciate because. One of my biggest pet peeves in trailers is when you give me everything that I'm supposed to learn over the course of a movie all at once.
Well, even like in Batman vs Superman, I liked how like menacing they looked. You know what I mean? There's this thing in like the Avengers movie with the Chitauri where like once they take off their mask or you like see them screaming, they almost just seem like mindless zombies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, one thing that's kind of interesting is one thing I really appreciate about it's kind of like two halves of the same whole. So, like, in Batman vs. Superman, they have this presence of, like, they're almost like the Predators from the Predator series, right? Yeah. Like, they're like these, they're not actually masked, but they're like these big figures, and they have almost like a refinement to them. They don't look like monsters. They're just kind of big guys that happen to have wings, and they fucking deck the shit out of Batman at some point, right?
That's the thing. Right there, that decking moment, it doesn't feel like a mindless zombie like Chitauri.
Yeah, exactly. However, one thing I really appreciate is that like about the Predator design is that when they take off the mask, they do look like monsters. And here you can kind of see that kind of like they're like bug like they're scurrying across the screen. They're in shadows. Like that's kind of what I want, that like dichotomy.
Yeah.
That balance between the two, because I think it's really cool.
See this play out. Okay,
Ooh.
Cyborg.
One of the cutscenes.
Cyborg is probably I'm most hyped for Cyborg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because so much of his story was apparently cut from the original, right?
Oh yeah, entirely. Every scene that Cyborg had filmed with Zack Snyder was cut from the movie except one where they're on the rooftops.
Right.
And every single time they reshot a scene, they would like minimize his importance. You know what I mean? They'd either have him say the "booyah" catchphrase from like the comics or the games or TV shows, or they'd have him wear a hoodie, which is just like, come on, dog.
Especially when you're changing it from like a grand superhero entrance, into like just a guy walking down the street with a hoodie or through a alleyway. It's like, okay, man.
I mean, especially you see like right here the way he's like zipping and zooming around. You know what I mean?
That twirl he did with his lasers, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, for sure. Zack Snyder's Justice. That is a perfect title. From what I hear, they actually had quite a bit of issues with that because certain people in Warner Brothers and DC were like, you can't name it Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, it's DC's Justice League. And it's just like, come on, dog. After everything you've done to this man, you can't let him have the fucking name?
Yeah.
Insane.
It's like, I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is like a perfect like bam, especially since it has Zack Snyder at the head of it.
I've seen some headlines calling this like an extended version. It is not an extended version. This is two different movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're leagues apart. Well, I mean, when you have technically we don't know that though.
When you have two different people making a movie, it's two different movies. When you have two different visions and two different like intentions when you shoot a scene, or even write a new scene, it's two different movies entirely.
It's like if you gave two people a script and said, okay, now make the movie, right?
Yeah.
They're just two different movies.
Well,
they're totally different things.
And that's you're implying that they would use that script.
Well, yeah, the idea is that you can make changes to whatever.
Right. That's key.
Yeah.
Is it will be made. I think while we pause on this part, I want to point out I'm a huge fan of Batman. I love Batman Returns, the Dark Knight trilogy. For the longest time, Dark Knight was the gold standard. But I gotta say, and I don't know so much about this suit in particular, but the Batman versus Superman suit and even like his normal base Justice League suit are my favorite on-screen Batman suits. It's
really
perfection, sir. The simple gray and black design, perfect. Something I feel like you lose in a grittier, toned down version of like Christian Bale's Batman is it all just being black, right?
Right.
There's a bat symbol, sure, but it's more like it works for what the story is, but that's not giving me the perfect suit. You know what I mean? When I think of Batman and like as a hero, the black symbol with the gray suit and the black cape and the black cowl, perfection.
One thing that I hope we'll see is that because like we know that Superman's gonna be running in with the black suit, right?
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that at some point throughout maybe even the climax, or maybe do it in reverse where it's like whatever, but I'm really hoping we see a return to form with like maybe a new suit or even just his old suit. Like that's what I kind of want to see, like that kind of like transition. That's one thing I'm looking forward to, because I think the thing about the Justice League, at least in like just off of this image, part of what really pulls it all together is, or in my mind anyway, is the idea of like Superman balancing out everything, because Superman is kind of like the counterbalance to Batman, whereas Batman is all grays and black. Superman in theory could be a lot of reds and blues, and it could really balance out this like formation in a really interesting way.
I know in terms of like what the story of the Snyder Cut is, I don't think the blue suit's supposed to come back in this movie. I feel like I feel like the black suit, I know in the comic books it's a source of like regeneration. You know what I mean? And that's why he wears it after, coming back. but I feel like he's not gonna just like boom right back to the blue suit. I think he's gonna be wearing his black suit till the end of the movie, and I think if there is a sequel to the Snyder Cut or another Justice League movie done by Zack Snyder, he would go back to it. And I know for sure if he shows up in like Shazam 2 or any other DC Aquaman 2, he would be wearing the red and blue one.
Yeah.
But in terms of this storyline, it is black suit.
Okay, so wait. Because I don't remember. Where does Shazam take place in the grand storyline? Is it post Justice League? Is it pre?
It would have to be post Justice League because of references to like Aquaman, right?
Okay.
And he's got he's got the Batarang, he's got Superman. They don't talk about him being dead, so it's not like a Suicide Squad thing. The best way to look at like the Snyder movies is like Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's sort of like
A trilogy.
for sure.
Yeah.
And canon is what you make it, right? Like you can look at all these comic books that I have, and you're not gonna find a hard continuity in anything ever, even when you have like what are supposed to be numbered series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'll get different authors who didn't put their spin on it. So like, it is what you make of it, right? But I feel like, in my opinion, I can watch Birds of Prey and still see it in the universe of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Well, the reason I bring that up is because there's a post-credit scene with Superman,
right,
where he is in his blue and red suit.
Yeah.
So I would wonder, like,
for me, headcanon, I would put that after Snyder Cut once he goes back to the red and blue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a different suit. I think the Man of Steel suit is perfection. In the same way I was talking about, like, Batman's suit. That red and blue is perfection.
I do love that design.
In terms of this story and, you know, what's going on in the Snyder Cut, it needs to be the black suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you're coming back from the fucking dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it more later, but I love the Flash's suit. You know what I mean? It is such a... I love the evolution, right? You just don't go into something like very clothy like in the comics. You sort of like evolve there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one interesting thing about this shot in particular is Aquaman's really cast in shadow, and I think I think that's kind of interesting, but in the duality with him and like Batman on the sides, right?
Yeah.
But also just from like because his costume, I wonder what kind of costume he's gonna have, because this movie takes place. Does it take place?
It takes place before Aquaman.
So he hasn't become king of
right.
Okay, Atlantis yet.
Yeah.
So he's still in his what suit? Did he even have a suit? No, right? He didn't have like a big, because I know that like in Aquaman he gets his big orange.
Right. No. This is I fucking love it, but that is a podcast for another day. This suit, however, this is his design for the Snyder Cut. Like, I'm pretty sure that like when he goes down to Atlantis to like stop the mother box from being taken, he gets the A trident and he gets some armor.
Well, I imagine it might be his mother's trident, because he has that in Aquaman.
But I think it is a good, like, him being in the shadows like this is very evocative of his like place in the story as a loner. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing about the Justice League story. We are all talking about people who have gone through trauma and are like removed from society, right? We have Barry, whose mother was murdered and the father blamed for it, so he's away. Victor's accident has like taken him out, but what I like is by having him in the middle, it's like that quarterback leadership position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you kind of see him front and center, along with Wonder Woman, very much in the light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But let's see what's next. Okay.
That's
Nightmare.
Very nightmare. Yeah.
Nightmare. Oh, and we spoke about this earlier. I just love what could come. You know what I mean? Darkseid taking over.
I do wonder if this is another nightmare sequence or if it's legitimately.
It's another nightmare sequence. There is a nightmare sequence.
Okay, well, like the question is this actually at one point going to be what it looks like in the movie, or is this just going to be another nightmare scene?
I think it's
because if you remember in the trailers for Batman vs Superman, we got one of these scenes, and it turned out to be a nightmare, and we don't actually see that landscape.
Well, we're not going to see. At the end of Justice League, it's not going to become Nightmare, but I feel like there's going to be another Nightmare sequence, giving us more to what the Nightmare is, which would be addressed in the next Justice League movie. because you got to remember that's very much what these Snyder movies are. Is like going further along down this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which really, and I don't know how the stories will play out. That's why I'm so hyped for it. Is the idea of Batman, Deathstroke, Jared Leto's Joker, in the Nightmare. We are in for it.
Oh,
Can't wait. Okay, do you know who
I love this design.
Perfection. And you know what? Here's what I love about Zack Snyder is that is comic book accurate. That is the exact like sleeveless tank top he wears. You know what I mean? You see it. That skin. That's a tank top, and I love it. And it's you sort of get like the like inference of it's like a very muted dark purple.
Yeah.
And you get the grays. Like that is perfect dark side. You know what I mean? And I love that Steppenwolf is a very like monstrous design as a warrior, and as his like head of like torture and like sadism, right? Desaad over there.
Yeah.
He is also very monstrous. But what I love is they did keep Granny Goodness, right?
Is that I think I recognize the name. Was she ever in the original Teen Titans TV show?
I don't know, and I would doubt it. She's like a New Gods, like dark side.
Then probably not. Then.
She's like the head general. Trains all like the assassins of dark side, but they kept her in a human like form.
Wait, is she in Harley Quinn?
She would be very
Was she? Because I don't know why, but I feel like she was the person that Harley Quinn fought to get control of Darkseid.
I think so.
Yeah.
Very,
Okay,
very
that might
old
be.
lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where I got it.
There we go.
There you go.
That's her.
Sick. Ooh, I love the red and black.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? So when Whedon did this shit, he made the sky red. So all these laser blasts blend in like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like he was purposely trying to sabotage it. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Flash.
Very.
Oh. We don't even need to like pause that too much. Flash go quick. But that's a good shot of Steppenwolf though. You see the power, you see the fury, and you're not going to see it in this discussion. But when you see Steppenwolf fighting the Amazons, there was like a little teaser Zach released on Twitter. Oh my god, the amount of arrows that were sunk into Steppenwolf, and then when he still fucking swings the axe around and fucking decapitates an Amazonian.
Yeah, there's some brutal stuff.
Brutal, but that's the like grit, dude. Like this really does feel like a threat. You know what I mean? It's something you would need the Justice League for. It's like the problem I have with most of the Avenger movies is like, Thanos snaps and that kills like half of existence, which like it sounds brutal, but like you don't feel it because it's just like it's an impersonal sort of like dust floating away sort of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think even this, it's almost like the opposite with like the problem that I have with Suicide Squad, right? Where you have like this threat that feels like imposing, and it's like you got like Deadshot, like Harley. It's okay, and then like they get like the only one of actual substantial worth is Diablo.
Yeah, so I was about to say that, right? The best fight in that movie is between Diablo and Enchantress's brother, right?
Yeah.
And that's because you actually see a fight between the two where, someone actually perishes. But that's the problem with Enchantress, right? And it's the same thing with, like, Thanos, whereas you just don't feel that physical presence like you do with Steppenwolf.
Ooh.
Whoa! Omega symbol, dog.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's sick.
The Batmobile.
There's the shot. The Twitter fight starting shot.
Dude, oh man. The way people will go on Twitter and be like, Zack Snyder's Superman sucks, send tweet, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then people will obviously respond to that. And then they're like, why are people responding? Like, I don't advocate for anyone being harassed, but
no,
like,
of course not.
the idea that you're mad at just replies or mentions because you had a hot take, like, why the fuck are you on Twitter? You know what I mean?
It's like the same thing if like if you were to say, oh, this shot from Avengers Endgame is ugly. It's like,
and I'm gonna get some
people are gonna get you're gonna get replies,
right?
Like, of course, like no matter what, like the conversation will be started because people have really strong opinions about movies that are like really hyped.
Yeah, and that's what honestly that's what I love about Twitter is like the idea of Twitter of just being able to converse on like this mass level.
Yeah,
right? But there's like this culture of people where just like, why are people getting mad at me? Like, one's even YouTubers, right? Because that's where they get their viewers from is by dispersing it on Twitter. And what a lot of people do is they'll like tweet out a hot take, and then make a video about it, and then they can like cycle. You know what I mean? And then they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm ready for the Snyder fanboys to come dogpile my video." It's just like, well, you're making like you're making a video essay. We're gonna like critique it. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of the whole fucking Steven Universe stuff where all you would ever hear is Steven Universe is the most toxic fandom of all, and all we do is put good faith criticism out there, and then they come screeching. It's like, dog, your criticisms are the definition of bad faith, and then you get mad at people who are upset with you. I remember videos talking about how Rebecca Sugar is like a fucking fascist apologist, and it's like, how not only like there's so many elements that go into like the creation of a work. I could hear an argument for like if someone wants to tell me, oh, I think the animation is bad in certain parts of Steven Universe, and therefore there's faults among this like story that's being built, and like it takes away from the story. I could be like, okay, cool. Now if you're gonna frame that in, well, Rebecca Sugar is a lazy, terrible animator because of all these, it's like, do you have any fucking clue how many people?
We could go to like 300, right? Someone could post like something like, oh, there's a lot of like fascist imagery in 300, and I'd be like, yeah, and then I could converse about that, right? But when they're like, but Zack Snyder made this as like a pro-fascist film to like hype people up for like the war of Afghanistan. I'm just like, whoa, okay, let's back it up a little bit.
You're assigning a lot of malintent.
Right. Assigning intent with these movies is what people do way too much, right? Rarely is it ever someone posts a picture of like this movie looks really dark, and then a bunch of people dogpile, right? It's a lot of like, this movie's really dark, and it shouldn't be dark.
Right.
Why are they making this movie that is meant for kids so dark and violent? It's like, whoa, that's where the discussion comes in. But feel that, it looks good, dude. The Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You see it? I love it.
We got, I think, one. No, we're on to the main trailer.
Oh, is
this one you're talking about?
There's a more like further back shot.
So this is
it's an older one.
This is like 5,000 years younger Darkseid when he was.
Is he shirtless right now?
Yeah,
it looks like it.
Yep.
He looks like a turtle.
Yeah, it looks like
the Omega symbol.
Yep, that's like that is what Mitch McConnell would have looked like if Trump had won another term. He would have just gone like full gains off of all the people you'd ram into the Supreme Court. Yeah. Amazing design. But this is a 5,000 years younger version of Darkseid.
Yeah, before his prime.
Well, before his prime. I feel like we see him in his prime now. This is in his infancy. Like Zack Snyder calls this baby Darkseid, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is him. You know that history lesson in the Whedon version?
Fuck if I remember.
Okay.
I watched that movie like once. Like, when did it come out? 3 years ago? 4 now?
Yeah.
I watched it once 4 years ago.
So this is that scene where you had like Green Lanterns and Atlanteans and Amazonians. Yeah.
I remember. Okay,
this is him here.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get to see him going up against like Zeus and Ares from Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. I love this shot.
It's very evocative of the Steppenwolf shot.
And this brings us back.
Is this the Doomsday?
Yeah, this is the Doomsday fight, but it's from like a different perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Batman versus Superman, when this scene happens, it cuts to a wide angle shot, and you hear this amazing part of the movie where Superman his last cry out of pain is the bell. Right. And he screams so fucking loud being Superman, it breaks the sound barriers, goes across the fucking universe, and it triggers.
Is that the bell that has been...
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the bell.
That's really sick.
Yeah. And you can hear like a sort of like feedback echo that Zack Snyder puts in Batman vs. Superman as Superman dies, and that's what triggers the Steppenwolf invasion, because it's like, yo, that was a big, powerful source over there, and he's gone now.
Yep.
Dude, let's go back. You know what I mean? Like, the old gods like Zeus are gone, and so is there. And that's I don't know if you remember, but there was a trailer leading up to 2017 where he was like, no Kryptonian, no lanterns.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Your world will fall like all the rest. And that's fucking Steppenwolf coming in like, what now, bitch? You know what I mean?
It's kind of interesting to think that like they have set up that lanterns A exist, and B that in theory there must be an Green Lantern active. The question is, what are they doing, and are they still is it currently a human lantern? That's the real question, right?
Yeah.
Or are we still, in like the pre-lantern time?
Yeah. Oh, I think what's like, I don't want to like speculate too much with Green Lantern and be like set up for disappointment. But what I will say is I'm so interested in what will be addressed in this movie is Martian Manhunter. You know what I mean? Why has he not emerged yet? How long has he been around? You know, how much of this will we find out?
Yeah.
But I think to compare it to its contemporary Marvel, the idea of Martian Manhunter being in hiding and like not coming out is more earned than like, why is Captain Marvel not coming, or why is no one beeping her? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like whatever Martian Manhunter's doing is he's staying in hiding. You know what I mean? And I know if like in the Zod attack, Martian Manhunter's there. He knows that Superman is there as well. So he doesn't need to like stop Zod from killing everyone on Earth because there's already Superman. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know if he is like comfortable or like feels like he could be accepted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like the thing about Martian Manhunter that separates him so vastly from Captain Marvel is that like Martian Manhunter isn't just like he's already well known and he could have been there to say it's like the difference between Iron Man 3, right? Where you like man, literally anyone could have helped out at all.
Yeah.
But they don't, right? And that you gotta wonder like with Martian Manhunter, the difference is like as a character, he's one of reservation, right? And also, and the other important fact is, we're literally watching a movie where the entirety of, like, at least the American government is like, this man is like, he's either a threat or he's something. Like, he's on constant vigilant watch as much as they possibly can. Why would you give up yourself to that kind of situation?
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself in that situation?
And two things. One, Martian Manhunter can't fucking just like disappear because he is in the highest level of the government and would be noticed missing.
Yeah, of course.
And then he's over there being green and shit.
Yeah, Clark Kent is a nobody, but this guy, he's gotten himself in a position. He would lose that.
Yeah, and I feel like, I feel like we could see in this movie is Martian Manhunter, because if you look at Batman or Superman, the first thing that happens to Superman for coming out and trying to like help people is fucking xenophobes like Lex and Batman trying to take him down.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
well,
So,
that's
like,
definitely true.
Yeah, so that's the universe.
The first literal thing is he gets arrested and then sent to Zod. So like,
yeah,
but way back in Man of Steel.
And then, but I feel like as you see the Justice League save the Earth, I feel like you could see a family that you could be a part of. You know what I mean? I feel like that could be a direction. This is more. This is nightmare scenario where Aquaman is dead. And so is Wonder Woman.
League, yeah.
Yep. Fucking JLA headquarters, like, damn. Yeah.
That's Diana.
Right. This is where after the Amazonian fight, they send a signal for her, like, hey, yo, you can come home now.
We got a little fucked.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Is that like a hologram of Superman?
Yep. That's Bruce Wayne trying to rally the people. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Ben Affleck's Batman is not the one who's just like, hey, come follow me. Like, I am the example. No, he knows that Superman is the example that will inspire.
It's kind of like My Hero Aka, right? Like, the whole point of Deku is not just to become this badass hero. The whole point is to become a hero that people can rally behind and believe in.
Or I don't know how far you're in, but, like, that's kind of the problem with once All Might is no longer number one, that's the reason why Endeavor just can't be number one, because like, he's not inspiring.
Yeah, no, God no. That man's terrifying.
But I love Jason Momoa. Such an amazing actor. So badass.
Yeah, when they don't have that weird fucking like
oh, get the fuck out of here.
You don't need that bullshit. You could I don't need music to know that shot was cool.
Accentuates, but on track.
Get that Mickey Mouse bullshit out of here, man.
And we were talking about it earlier. More Victor story.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You get, he's the heart of this movie, is what Snyder has said, and you get to see, in that transition, that fucking trailer going. I don't know how it's gonna play out in the movie, but like, that would be a good shot if you go from like him remembering to like him watching others do what he can no longer do.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, there it is. Oh.
Dude, when people say that, like, I don't like Man of Steel or Batman or Superman because it's too dark and gloomy, they're not seeing the human moments like these. You know what I mean?
Okay, dude, from a literal sense, it is dark because it's like not as bright as like, our prehistoric Superman is, right? But like, there is a lot of life and heart to Man of Steel and Batman or Superman that people just don't acknowledge, or I don't know why people don't get it. Like, there's little moments, like even like right before that, Superman's going to like make the decision to be taken away, right? He even goes to that church. That's such a human moment, and he like just has like a conversation with that pastor. Like the moments that he has with his mother. I think in terms of like down to earth human moments, like, and this was set up way back in Man of Steel. Martha is the linchpin to Superman's humanity. Yeah. Right?
But it's not like, I mean, obviously the mother eventually will die in it, but he also finds like he's able to find like a rock in humanity, which is like Lois, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he makes the move towards Lois being his like everything.
And on a macro level, you gotta also look at the stories of these movies, which is not like the villain is right. No, like, it is always about like Bruce Wayne at the end of the movie seeing that he was wrong over the course of the movie. You know what I mean? So it's just like, tell me if this is like pro-violence or like just edgy for edgy's sake. It's like, no, these are like very inspiring messages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never really understood the argument that Batman vs Superman doesn't push a good message.
Yeah.
The whole point is that like, we fucked up, but we can do better.
Yeah.
And we will.
Like, we have to. Yeah.
It's a big part of that.
But it's just like, that's these hero moments of like inspiring, right? Like, I feel like that's what's great about like Wonder Woman, and the way Zack Snyder and Chris Terrio write for her is right there in that moment. I feel like Wonder Woman is now to inspire that kid to do good. You know what I mean? Oh my god! And the way the Speed Force is in this movie, so good.
Fuck. Aww.
Yeah.
Oh.
Intense, dude.
There was that digging up Superman?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't think that looked like Superman's grave, but I could be wrong. There was stuff that Zack Snyder had released in black and white pictures of like Cyborg looking at himself and like his parents, but in like some sort of dream. So I almost wonder if that's like a nightmare scenario, maybe like Cyborg like digging up his own grave or something like that. You know what I mean? That could be like a nightmare for him. You know what I mean? This I wonder is there's a scene that I know is coming because he shared the storyboard.
That's his mother's trident. I was right.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But this is from his scene with Mara. And what's interesting is
Later, bitch.
dude, Momoa, man.
Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't.
One note with you, motherfucker. But the point is, once he dies in the Nightmare universe, she's still kicking it. So like, I mean, I would love a Nightmare movie, like something solely set in that universe with the characters that are still like kicking it.
Yeah.
Because like you're no longer the Justice League, right? You're Batman, who is going to work with the Joker and Deathstroke, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get done what needs to be done. That is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
That's Baby Darkseid right there.
Damn.
Oh, and that's the sod.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. Oh,
And no granny.
dude. Resurrection of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, we're gonna. Oh, this scene. Oh my god.
Wait, what's going? Oh, fuck.
Dude, you don't watch that scene
Ugh.
and watch Joss Whedon and tell me this is the same fucking movie. I think like that's a huge spoiler, but like fuck, there's still like 3 hours of movie we haven't seen. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's sort of just like kind of a shot across the bow, like, hey, motherfucker, this is different. You know what I mean? And this sort of like shows off the. Oh my god!
Oh, dude, there's a parademon over there.
She was so excited for this because obviously the Amazonians in the Whedon version were like really minimized, but the actress who plays Wonder Woman's mom. These last couple days has been nonstop spamming these little teasers because she's like so happy the movie's coming out.
Sick.
Because that's the thing, right? Is she was doing an interview for like Wonder Woman 2, and she was talking about like she didn't do any training, she didn't do any physical work in Wonder Woman 2, but she did for this movie. She got in like tip top shape. She was like doing all the stunts and shit. And then all her scenes are cut. You know what I mean? That happened to Ares, Zeus. All right, Jesus, you're telling me about, like, you want to see the fucking design in motion? React, bitch. Looks good.
It's very glossy. I'm telling you, like, I like the silhouette. Stop. That shot we had before where he's on his superhero landing pose, the shadows. I really like the silhouette of this design a lot. It reminds me of a lot of I don't know if you've ever seen anything from League of Legends, but there's like a very specific character in that game. His name is Aatrox. Like it's the exact same, like a fucking imposing figure. I don't know about that glossiness, Stuart. It's weird. It's weird, man.
I mean, it's a boom tube from like across the universe. I feel like there's a lot of interdimensional like energy going on. I feel like the gloss is warranted.
Whoa.
Oh wait, hold up. I kind of want to go back to that previous shot because like that's good, and obviously the energy beam. But what's wild is you can't tell me Joss Whedon's not a racist piece of shit when in his version it's just Wonder Woman standing there and he digitally cut out the two people of color.
Really?
Yep.
I don't even remember this shot.
Yeah, it's in the Whedon version. It's all red, and then she's standing there with the shield.
The blue is so much better.
And also having the rest of the league there is so much better.
Yeah.
I don't know if like, I don't know. It's really cringe to like.
They did Cyborg dirty. They did him real dirty, man.
Well, Momoa too. Like he's just standing there, like.
Well, but like in general, they did Cyborg dirty. Well, if he's the fucking heart, that's like imagine if you took like a fucking like Evangelion movie and you made it about like Rey and Shinji's just like, but what?
But on the same note, if you remove Momoa from scenes like this, like being brave with, alongside an Amazonian going up against a literal god, right? And you replace that with him sitting on the lasso of truth and talking about how he wanted to fuck Wonder Woman.
It just makes him a meme.
Yeah, and then like you're cutting out his scenes of like importance. You know what I mean? That is
We're just on a black screen right now.
well, I mean, that previous shot was again, not too much gloss, dog. But this shot is something. It's in Man of Steel. There's a scene like that uppercut with Zod. It's again with Doomsday, and a third time a reoccurring motif. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's his fighting style.
Yeah, but it's also a specific shot. But Snyder does. It's so fucking so impactful.
Fucking taking bullets to the arm.
I love the Speed Force.
Is he running right now? Is that what this is supposed to be? Wow. Oh,
and we were talking about like the rocks and the tide of humanity. It's all right here, dude.
Absolutely.
I want to know what that fucking is. That was Cyborg
like,
in his Letterman jacket, like, but like bringing down.
It's
nukes.
very the fucking, is it Dark Knight Returns with the nukes that Superman stopped?
Yeah,
very evocative, you know. I wonder what that could be.
Dude,
damn,
I love Ezra Miller. I can't wait for his solo movie.
Same. There it is, the lead.
Yeah.
I think I like this shot a lot more than the previous. Even with the black suit, like I think the way that it's lit is just it creates more power. It gives them more presence.
Yeah.
This shot would almost be like bizarre if he was still in his original costume. It's like there's so much like shadow but so much light at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the daylight, the dawn, yeah.
Yeah, and the way I see this is kind of like they're all in their darkest moments. However, there's a dawn on the horizon.
Yeah, this is the dawn. This is the dawn of fucking justice. You know what I mean? The age of heroes has returned. And look at Momoa, right? No longer you see like some sense of pride.
Yeah,
right
he's at the head of it realistically. If you look from our perspective on the camera.
Yeah, so good.
The Snyder cut.
A little bit of dialogue comes right here, but we all know this. Like, Steppenwolf's been to other worlds. He's obviously still alive. He's not lost, but
he's never fought us. Not us united.
That's right. The confidence, confidence from Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne.
Now the question is, this doesn't seem to be post revival, so this might have been pre revival. So that means. One thing that could be interesting about this is that line could actually be in a scene where they're prepping for a battle before they've realized they need to revive Superman, right? They have a fight and they get their asses handed to them, so they come back with plan B, right?
Yeah,
you see what I mean?
Yeah, that is the plan B, because you got to remember, Superman does fuck off. He goes to the farm. That's when he meets with like Martha and Lois, and then there's that deleted scene where he gets the suit. He talks to Alfred. You know what I mean? So obviously they're going. That's the thing. They are all heroes, right? Like they don't, with or without Superman, they will face the god themselves. And I think just to wrap this up real quick, that shot of Jared Leto's Joker.
Ooh. It's so much more. One of the biggest problems with Suicide Squad is that it just doesn't feel like it fits in the same universe as Zack Snyder. Especially like coming off the back of Justice League, like you're literally like it's because the difference between Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad, because they both would fall into this box. However, Harley Quinn is kind of like very separated. It's kind of like an offbeat story that still happens in the same universe. Suicide Squad, not only is it constantly referencing the Justice League and Superman in general, and it has Batman in it, but it's also like its story revolves around the conflict that happened in the previous movie. So for it to feel so jarring in terms of like tone, it'd be like if the Guardians of the Galaxy is exactly the same, except for some reason there's just always references to Tony Stark, and like, oh man, those Avengers, right? It's like this doesn't feel like it fits in the same like through line. But this, like, you have like a totally different presence. This isn't the same as the guy who's up there like purring like a fucking like cat.
But I love Jared Leto.
I'm not shading that.
No.
Like,
I know, but
it works in its own idea of a story, but it doesn't fit in the same way. It's not like a consistent through line.
And I hear you, but what I take away from this image and in junction with Suicide Squad is I love looking at like, I'm so glad we're seeing like a nightmare Joker but doesn't have all the same features of Suicide Squad Joker, right? We don't see like a shit ton of tattoos, and like flashy wear. He's so bare boned. This almost looks like the ghost of Joker. You know what I mean? I feel like damage and like the J tattoo, the grill, like all the Lamborghini. This is like Joker like flaunting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's living it up in opulence.
Right, fucking peacocking it, right? But like once the whole world is gone, like it's such an interesting idea, like Joker in an apocalypse, because like you're no longer, showing a society what for, because there is no more society. What is a Joker in that, right?
Yeah, because the problem, like, at the end of the day, Joker would never want the destruction of the universe if he couldn't be the one enacting it. Because the reality is that he is only so powerful. So, when you take, like, a story of, like, you think about, like, the Dark Knight, like, he would never actually want to bring an end to everything. He just wants to unravel what's already existing.
Yeah.
Right? And constantly, like, playing that dance. And the same thing is true of, like, Suicide Squad. Like, what's the point of, like, blowing up all of Gotham City if now I don't have a playground to go fuck around in?
Yeah.
And this is, like, a man who's like, well, I got nothing left. I can't even be the guy top of the hierarchy anymore. Not in any sense of the word. Because he's the dog of Gotham. He's the top dog. But now, in this post-apocalyptic world, he's nothing. He's just a guy in a box.
And what I'm so interested in seeing is because, like, Jared Leto as an actor is one of the greats of our time. In Dallas Buyers Club to like his new movie, The Little Things, so versatile. You know what I mean? Like, right. And in Suicide Squad, I'm just so curious, and I'm hoping that from the fruit of the Snyder cut that we get to see an air cut of the Suicide Squad, because I want to discuss that film in like its original context of what was. And the good thing about an air cut of Suicide Squad is that movie was filmed and finished a lot earlier, before a lot of the Warner Brothers stepping in. So all their changes are a lot more late stage. You'll notice in Suicide Squad, a lot of those like montages, those are full scenes that are shot that they just cut up. So it's not like they had a Joss Whedon come in and like make a whole nother movie. But I think that's pretty good for today, and I feel like that really like encapsulates all the thoughts and feelings over Zack Snyder and the Snyder cut. But we will come back. We will do another one of these when the next trailer comes out. You know what I mean? Cling.
Oh, yeah. Metaphorical cling.
Hey! Badass.